Hello students, today we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is liver function test. Liver, as you know, is one of the most important organ in our body. Liver stands out to be the potential organ in which many biochemical reactions are performed. It is also one of the organs which detoxifies various toxins which are flowing in the blood or in the body. So the function of liver is very crucial. So we are going to understand that how would we analyze that liver is functioning well or not. As you can see, and we have studied in the previous classes, that liver performs many functions. To an approximation, there are 500 biochemical reactions which are carried on in liver. Some of the examples are they help in the metabolism of protein, carbohydrates and lipids. It also helps in the biosynthesis and breakdown of blood cells. Detoxification, as I said, detoxifies. Detoxification of endogenous and exogenous compounds, whichever are present in the body. It also helps in the formation of bile, and as you know, bile stands out to be an emulsification factor for fat, and also it helps in storage of glycogen. You should also know glycogen is stored not only in liver but also in the skeletal muscles. Next, following the functions, it also helps in the formation of urea, and as you know, there is a particular chain of reaction for the formation of urea and ketone bodies. It also helps in conjugation of steroid hormones, detoxification of drugs and toxins, biosynthesis of plasma protein like albumin and globulin. It also helps in inactivation of polypeptide hormones. Significance of healthy liver to biochemical process occurring in living organism cannot be overemphasized. Means you need to understand that all the biochemical reactions which are being carried out by the liver is a specific indices of the health of a person. Now, to understand what is liver function test or how does liver function test help us, as you can see, liver is an important organ to the body, and liver function test stands out to be one of the most routinely carried out tests. So we have few number of indices that are present and which need to be evaluated. So what do we come to know by an LFT or liver function test? It will give you the crude indices, or it will give you a rough idea about the hepatic structure, cellular integrity and function. That is the liver in a normal state or not? Are the cells in the liver that are hepatocytes, are they healthily functioning or they are being destroyed? And also about various functions as we have discussed earlier. Are they performing the functions normally or not? Based on the measurement of the substances, that is, we will see that what are all indices are being examined. Based on the measurement of substances released from damaged hepatic cells into the blood, and measurement of blood component, it gives idea of the existence, extent and type of liver damage. So overall, from LFT we will come to know whether the liver is functioning well or not, and if it is not functioning well, what happens or what is the exact cause of the derangement, we will come to know by this LFT. So last point for this functioning, that is LFT provides us useful information about the presence and severity of hepatobiliary injury or impairment of liver function. So this is self-explanatory. Now next we'll look into that what all things should be considering in LFT. The first thing is bilirubin. As you all know, it is a biopigment. It is present in two forms, conjugated and unconjugated. We'll discuss what is the difference between conjugated and unconjugated later. Next we have SGOT, which is also known as ALT. The full form stands for alanine aminotransferase. Next is SGPT, that is aspartate aminotransferase, AST. Then we have ALP, which is known as alkaline phosphatase. Then we have GGTP, that is gamma glutamyl transpeptidase, and 5-nucleotide. We have two more, that is serum or plasma albumin and total protein. So if we consider all these things in an LFT, we will come to know whether the liver is functioning well or not. So as we have discussed, that it gives you a rough idea about the hepatocellular damage. So in this LFT, you will be considering whether there is some damage done to the hepatic cells or not. Then comes the next one, that is SGOT and SGPT. As we have discussed, they have their short names as ALT and AST, are measure of integrity of hepatocytes, whether they are coordinately functioning or the extent of damage that you come to know, that is by these two indices of SGOT and SGPT. Again, SGOT and SGPT level in plasma are sensitive indices to hepatocellular damage. They also are located mainly in the periportal area of the hepatocytes, thus do not give a reliable indices of centrilocular liver damage. So in case if you find altered measurements of SGOT and SGPT, what we come to know that the periorbital area of the hepatocyte, means the peripheral region of the liver, they will give you indices of the peripheral region, but the central lobular liver damage cannot be assessed with SGOT and SGPT. Next, if there is some obstruction to the biliary tract, then the serum total bilirubin concentration, serum alkaline phosphatase, GGTP and 5-nucleotides would be altered. So in case you are dealing with obstructive jaundice or any other disorder which includes obstruction of biliary tract, we need to know about these four factors, that is bilirubin concentration. It can be both concentrated, conjugated and non-conjugated. Then we come to the serum alkaline phosphatase, that is ALP, GGTP and 5-nucleotides. In case of chronic liver diseases, if you are dealing with chronic liver diseases, serum albumin concentration is one of the major indices which will help you know that if we are dealing with chronic liver disease or not, like alcoholism or liver cirrhosis. Both these are some examples of chronic liver diseases. But what you come to know that there will be an altered serum albumin level in chronic liver diseases. Now the question is, it's a very good question, can a single biochemical test be used to assess liver function? No, this is not possible because there are many functions being performed by the liver and all of the important metabolites that we have analyzed like SGOT, SGPT, ALP, GGTP, 5-nucleotides, these all will give you together will give you a state where the liver is not functioning well. So LFT is used to determine hepatic dysfunction, if any, but it would be in an integrated form. You cannot just use one single metabolite to assess this. So what is the objective of performing LFT? That when it will call up for an LFT test or when you need to assess that when the LFT needs to be done, then the first point is sensitive detection of suspected dysfunction, document an abnormality, determination of type, whether it's an obstructive type or chronic type or what type of injury we are looking at, and follow-up of the patient with hepatic disease. So if you find there is some dysfunction of liver, like the patient complains that he is not having his digestion normal or experiencing pain in the liver region, or there is some documentation of an abnormality that brings the previous report that he had some problem with the liver functioning. Also, if you find that there is cholestasis or hepatocellular damage disease which was previously present, and if you are treating a disease related to liver and the patient comes up in the follow-up, then it will call for an LFT. No single biochemical test can satisfy all this objective. So that I made my point that when I said that no single biochemical test would be required, it would be an integrated form. So we perform all the tests that we have mentioned earlier to assess about the liver function. Each selected test must satisfy the following, that is diagnostic sensitivity in screening of dysfunction, specificity for liver disease and selectivity in differentiating the disorder. And we will see subsequently that all the biochemical tests included in LFT, they have a specific purpose or they direct you to a specific direction that what can be the possible disease the liver is suffering from. So tests based on substance cleared from plasma by liver can be separated in two groups. Endogenous metabolites, example bilirubin, bile acid and ammonia. These are the endogenous metabolites. Exogenous compounds like aminopyrin, lysosine, endocytin, green and caffeine. These all are the substances. These all are the substances which would be ingested by a person externally and they are metabolized by the liver. These are being manufactured in your body. So the clearing of these substances will give you an idea. Now we come to the major cause of increase in the blood bilirubin level. That what are the major causes of increase in the blood bilirubin level? The first biochemical test that we run is for the bilirubin. As you remember, we have discussed in the previous slide. Major cause for increase in bilirubin level in the blood. First is hemolysis. Now, in order to understand why hemolysis will increase the amount of bilirubin, you must remember that whenever RBCs are destroyed in spleen, they are broken down into heme and globin, that's the hemoglobin part of RBC, and that is further processed into a pigment like bilirubin. This bilirubin, when formed in the spleen, is transported to the liver. Before entering into the liver, it is in the form which is known as unconjugated form. Before entering into the liver, bilirubin is present in unconjugated form. Later on, it will convert into the conjugated form which is being done by the liver. Damage to RBC may cause increased breakdown of hemoglobin, producing unconjugated bilirubin, which may overload liver, conjugating system causing hyperbilirubinemia. Failure of conjugating system in liver, as I said that unconjugated bilirubin would be conjugated by the liver. So if the liver is experiencing any problem in the conjugation process, so obviously there would be an increase in the level of bilirubin. Or if there is an obstruction in the biliary system which is basically made up to eject or to remove the bilirubin, conjugated bilirubin formed in the liver. Next is conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin are in plasma. Both the conjugated as well as the unconjugated one form would be present in the plasma. Conjugated bilirubin is soluble in aqueous medium. Conjugated bilirubin can appear in urine in the form of urobilinogen. Unconjugated bilirubin is not soluble in aqueous medium. Albumin binds and is transported to the liver. So albumin stands out to be an important binding substance for transportation of unconjugated bilirubin in the liver. Unconjugated bilirubin cannot appear in urine. So urobilinogen or as in the stool, stercobilinogen are actually a form of conjugated bilirubin. Unconjugated bilirubin will not appear in urine or in stool. Unconjugated bilirubin is neurotoxic. As you can understand, neurotoxic word, toxic means it's poisonous and neuro means it's affecting your nervous system. If blood level rises too high in neonates, newly born children, if the blood level of unconjugated bilirubin will rise, permanent brain damage may occur. So in the later classes when we will discuss about the jaundice, so neonatal jaundice is also one of an important topic and it's a very commonly experienced phenomena that the newly born children will face jaundice-like symptoms or jaundice they will be facing, that is what is called as neonatal jaundice. Conjugated bilirubin is excreted in bile. Bacteria present in the gut will convert conjugated bilirubin into urobilinogen and stercobilinogen. Urobilinogen will appear in urine, whereas stercobilinogen will appear in stool. Urobilinogen is partly reabsorbed via enterohepatic circulation of urobilinogen in adults. Urobilinogen is excreted as urobilin that is responsible for coloration of urine. The straw-like color of urine is due to presence of urobilinogen. Stercobilinogen is excreted as stercobilin that is responsible for coloration of feces. The typical color of stool is due to presence of stercobilinogen. If stercobilinogen is not formed in the GIT, the stool color is pale. One of the common findings in presence of obstructive jaundice that the stool turns out to be pale in color or chalk white in color.